In this video, I'm going to go over all the unique settings for rows within the page builder. So let's go ahead and navigate over to our page builder by clicking on View Your Website on the top left-hand side. I'm going to go ahead and add an empty block, and that's already added everything that I need. Now, rows are always hidden because they're generally just hugging our columns. Rows are there pretty much to hold our columns in place and contain the content within the columns. But rows do have a few unique features. So I'm going to go ahead and just open the navigator as well so that you can see that we are using our row and that our row is selected. The navigator is always incredibly helpful to know exactly what element you're working on where in your page. So let's go ahead and look at our advanced settings when it comes to rows. So the first setting you'll see again is our layout. Now this works pretty similarly to how it works for blocks, but you'll see that if I change the direction to vertical, it just simply stacks the content within the rows on top of each other. And if it is horizontal, it stacks the content next to each other. You'll see that we also have a gap setting here. So if I apply the gap, it's going to apply an equal spacing gap between my columns. So between the content within this row, you'll see it's got that gap between them. So again, the gap works exactly the same way. We then also have a padding. So this is going to add space within the row itself. So it's going to create space inside the row, between the row and the columns within it. And again, you can edit those to have unique numbers for each side. All right, and then we have our style, and you'll notice that we have a few new settings within our style settings here. We have a border, a background, and a shadow. So if we add a background to a border to our row, we'll be able to come in here and change the width of the border, and you again can edit those to be unique per side. So there I've changed the left to be really little, or I can make it really fat. And I can do the same on the right hand side. You can't see that because it's hidden behind the settings there. And you can see that we can also change the color of the border. So if I don't want it to be blue, but instead I want it to be a pretty coral color, then I can do that. And I can change the style of the border. So it can be solid, it can be dashed, it can be dotted, it can be whatever you want. So if you want to create a particularly striking border around your content, you can do that within the row settings. Then we have our background, and the background works exactly the same way as it does for blocks. You can have a color background, you can have an image background, and again, all of those settings are the same for the image background. And the video background is actually something I completely skipped over in the previous video, but you can add a video background. You can upload a video file or choose a video link, and that will play in the background of your block or your row, for example. You can also add an overlay to your video backgrounds as well. So I'm going to leave it as a color, and let's maybe make it a very light blue so it's not absolutely hideous. And then we have a shadow. So if I want to add a shadow to this block, you'll see it adds a drop shadow. You can change the layout of that shadow on the X and Y axis, so you can change where you would like that shadow to fall. You can change the blur amount of it, so maybe don't go too wild like me. You can change the spread of the shadow, and you can change the color of the shadow as well. So if you want to have a yellow shadow for some reason, that looks absolutely atrocious. So there you go, we've got something new. And then again, we have our visibility, and this again applies to whether or not you want this to be visible on the page or on the specific devices. So you can change visibility of specific elements per device, per row. And then one more thing that we do have within our rows is again an extra little layout setting. This is again an advanced setting. So you're going to click add, and we have our reverse setting. This is going to allow you to reverse the content within the row or not. So if I have an image in this column and I have a heading in that one, and I come here to my row settings and I decide to reverse that content, you'll see that my title is then ahead of my image. So the content has been reversed in how it appears. And you'll see the same if I do this with the vertical mode. It just reverses the way that that content is shown. So that is now everything that you need to know about rows. In the next video, I'm going to very quickly go over the column settings as well. Again, a lot of it is the same, but there are a few unique settings to columns. So we will be going over those in the next video. I'll see you there.